And I hope to put you on the committees next year to make that happen. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is shauna.m4v. I am running with Christine on a partial ticket, Vote Bay. So the reason I decided to run this year, I saw a need. And this need, I saw it last year when I was elections chair. Last year was kind of an off year, not as many people running for these different positions, but I saw that most people didn't know what student government was doing for them, and a lot of people weren't coming to the polls. I noticed that ASUW wasn't doing enough to reach out to the students, and I wanted to be the driving force for that change this year. So I bring experience to the table. I have experience mobilizing volunteers to get passionate about a cause, to really care about what they're doing for the school, and to get involved. And I want to do that next year as Vice President. I want to bring students who normally do not care and do not get involved to ASUW. I want them to advocate for the things that they care about, for the issues that they see as pressing for next year. And I know how to do that, and I can bring students in. And I really just want student government to take its rightful place next year.
Monitor the effectiveness of committees.
That is a wonderful question. So currently, I know that's been thrown around about reactivating the governance committee. And personally, I do not think that's sometimes the best way to monitor what volunteers are doing. There's so many volunteers that serve within the ASUW on different committees. And really the best way, I think, is knowing who these volunteers are, knowing the stances that they're taking, with the things that they're telling the administration, the things that they're representing at these different committees, knowing them personally, establishing connections, and really just being the face of the association. So going to them being like, hey, you know what, I noticed that you're serving on this committee. What are you telling administrators? What are you telling the administrators that students want? And really, this year, something Madeline started, which I think is a great idea, is having a blog for volunteers to put what they're talking about at these meetings onto this blog. A blog, if I was elected president, I would read and follow up. I would go to volunteers, ask them, why is it that you think that this is something that the ASUW should maybe really just get a ground force going, should mobilize more volunteers to care about this issue. There's so many things that happen around this campus. There's so many different committees students can sit on. And for one person to know what's going on sometimes is a little much, but if you're using technology, if you have that personal connection with the volunteers that you're appointing to these committees, you can know what's going on campus, and you can really help the association bring in all of its resources and bring in even more students that normally don't get involved. Really, it's about mobilizing and amplifying and knowing the needs of students, knowing what they're talking about at these different committees, and I would do that as Vice President. I would connect with people who serve on these committees. I would bring in people who don't normally get involved, and I have the experience just from my previous background at a community college, knowing how to talk to administration and knowing how to get people involved who normally don't get involved. So, thank you. So that's actually one of the reasons I'm running, because I've seen that there's not enough people coming from all different areas of campus, not enough diversity even in the applicant pool. We sometimes rely too heavily on dog days and word of mouth. And it's great. It brings in the volunteers we need to appoint them to positions, but we need to do more than that. We need to take ASUW to the student. And next year, with the hub closing down, perfect opportunity to really amp up what we're doing in student government, to understand the needs of students, and to also realize how important it is that students get involved in this campus. Myself, I got involved because I got bored. You know, there's only so much studying you can do, and at a point you come to realize I want to do something more, something bigger than who I am, and really be a part of something that's bigger. And we need to get those students in, and we can do multiple things. We can do a hub quad fairs. We can use all the different positions in the board and really make sure that we unite together as a board at the beginning of the year to collaborate with each other, to put on more events so that people know what ASUW is and people know what we're doing on campus. We need a stronger ASUW presence on campus. And with the hub closing down, I keep saying that because I really do believe it's going to be a perfect opportunity for us to really go to the students, Red Square, do tabling, connect with different student leaders and different registered student organizations, to not be an isolated student government. A lot of these people in this room, you got involved because, you know, one of your friends maybe was involved and you just self-initiated your involvement, but we need to target those students who maybe don't do that and really get them in because they have something to bring to the table, they have a voice, and I want to make sure that those students who aren't being heard, they are heard, and we want to bring them to the ASU Dub and make sure that they're going down to Olympia, make sure that they're involved in these decision-making bodies on campus and that their voice is heard and their college experience is enjoyable.